Nice to see so many people coming in the room. And Colin, yes, I see. Okay, great. Hello, everybody. It's great to see you all. Thank you so much for joining us today for another song. Hello to Ida and Whitby coming in from Cambridge. It's always great to see you little small people in the room. I can't tell if you're a photo or if you're frozen. There you are. Hello to Nicola coming in from the UK. Great to have you today. And Bonnie coming in from Idaho. Hello. And Deborah's living room in Kentucky. Hello. Hi, Deborah. And Kathy in Virginia. Hello. Great to see you today. Hello, Annette in California. Love the pigtails. That's awesome. Hello, Trish. Great to see you today. And Mary, hello. Nice to have you again in the room. Hello, Mary Eagle coming in from Western North Carolina. Great to see you. Adele in DC. And Beryl, Colin's mom in Chicago. Great to have you again today. Dennis coming in from British Columbia. Great to see you. One of my co-hosts from the Ubuntu Week. David Needley, hello from upstate New York. Glad to see you, and I'm glad you're back again. Carolyn in Idaho, great to see you. And Kathleen in Albuquerque, great to see you too. How exciting to have so many folks. Joanne, hello. I think you might be new to us. Here's from one Joanne to another. Hello, hello. Jane, nice to see you today. Glad you're here. Susan, nice to have you again today. Doug, hello. Nice to see you today. And Dan in Virginia, hello. Sheila in front of a voting box. Love it. Very, very nice. Perfecto. Belinda, now we're going to have a contest. We're going to see who else can come up with the better voting backgrounds as we go through the week. Belinda, it's great to see you today. Thanks for joining. Anne in DC, hello. And Pete and Janet coming in from Toronto, hello. Glad you're here today. And Dion in Massachusetts, hello. Caroline, hello. And Laura, hello. There's some new faces in the room today. Glad to have so many new folks with us today. Hello also to the folks who are not on video, Kachina and Sandra, Catherine, Francette, Valerie, Adrian, and some more, Lois, Joni, Janet, Kirsten, and I'm so sorry if I've missed calling any of your names. I'm super glad you're here today. Hello also to everybody out there on Facebook Live, including Mary, who comes in from Omaha, and Tiggs from Massachusetts every day. Great to see you both, or to know that you're there. Welcome officially to the Washington Rebels Carpe Diem Arts Daily Antidote of Song. As most of you in the room know, we've been at this now for over 200 days, singing one song every day at noon. It's been a wild and crazy ride getting to go through all of the strangenesses of the universe with all of you in this room. Super, super happy that we are forming this amazing community and being all tied together and eased by the presence of this great music and these amazing song leaders. For folks who are new, if you can put your state and or your country in the chat box, we love knowing where folks are coming from. Also, there is a donate link in the chat box. All of the money that comes into this program goes directly to the artists who lead us in song. Thanks to everybody for all you're doing to keep this program going. Who would have guessed we'd be at it for 200 days and maybe another 200 after that, and who knows what in the future. Also, my email is in the chat box. If you want to be on our daily Antidote email list, we send out the song leaders and the lyrics in advance. Or if you have suggestions or comments, I love hearing from folks. So you know how to find me now. And I want to shout out Colin K. Bills, who is in the room with us today running the tech platform. Colin, it has been an amazing helper, right-hand guy, reveler extraordinaire. So thank you, Colin. And today, I'm super excited that we have in the room with us a new artist to us. She is a singer, songwriter, choir director, lecturer, and she was mentored by and actually recommended to us by Peggy Seeger, who I told that I was doing a voting week, and she said, oh, voting songs, you have to call Sandra Kerr. So here is Sandra Kerr coming to us from Northumberland, which is the last English county on the East Coast before you get to Scotland. So Sandra, thank you so much for coming in today to sing us a voting song. I am going to ask you to unmute now.
There we are. Hi, Joe. Hello, everybody. This is so exciting. I'm just delighted to be here with you all. This is wonderful. What a great achievement, everybody, as well. Absolutely wonderful. How would you like me to tell you a bit about the song I'm going to sing? Would that be a good idea? Joe's giving me a thumbs up and a yay. Well, when I first moved to Northumberland, which Joe just told you about, I discovered that the suffragist Emily Wilding Davison was buried in a churchyard near to where I live, or where I just moved to, and she was very famous. She died under the King's Horse at a very famous racecourse called Epsom Derby. She died trying to pin a suffragette banner of purple, green and white onto the King's Horse, which was the favourite to win. Now, I didn't know anything about her really, except that I went to her, to the churchyard where she was buried, and came back and wrote this song because I thought she should be honoured. At the time, the monument to her and her grave was very, very poorly kept, overgrown and so on. So I came back and wrote this song, and which I'm going to sing with you. I hope you're all going to sing on the chorus with me. Is that all right? Would you like to hear the chorus, everybody? And then I'll break it down and we can learn it line by line and then all sing together, and I'm sure it'll be absolutely wonderful. I won't be able to hear a note, of course, but it will be great. So here's the chorus. Emily Davison, suffragette heroine, died at the Derby in 1913. Blood on the banner bright, purple and green and white, shed for a woman's right to liberty. I'm sure you've all got that. Every last word and every note. Have you? I see smiling faces. I'm going to sing line by line. What I'll do is I'll sing a line, wait a little bit, and then I'll sing it again so you can sing it with me. Is everybody okay with that? That's the deal, isn't it? Okay. Here we go then. First line. Emily Davison, suffragette heroine. Here we go. Emily Davison, suffragette heroine, died at the Derby in 1913. Try that. Died at the Derby in 1913. Next line. Blood on the banner bright, purple and green and white. Try it. Blood on the banner bright, purple and green and white, shed for a woman's right to liberty. Try that. Shed for a woman's right to liberty. How do you feel about trying to put that together and singing, joined up singing like grown-up people? Yeah, would you like to have a try at that? Okay, so here it goes. Emily Davison, suffragette heroine, died at the Derby in 1913. Blood on the banner bright, purple and green and white, shed for a woman's right to liberty. How did you get on? Would you like another little try at that? Oh no, thumbs up. You've got it already. Yes? Excellent. I'm going to sing the whole song and you're going to join me on the chorus. Is that okay? Joe, you okay with that? Excellent. I went down to St Mary's churchyard in Morpeth one September day to find the grave of my dead sister, to find the place where Emily lay. A dark and stony path led where she rested. The sky was grey, the rain came down. I found her monument, decayed and broken, and choking weeds grew all around. Emily Davison, Suffragette heroine, died at the Derby in 1913. Blood on the banner bright, purple and green and white, shed for a woman's right to liberty. They called her wild, a lawless lassie. When deep in prison she was confined, the tyrants paid no heed to reason. Only deeds would change their mind. They say she learned this lesson from her Bible, her courage from St. Joan so brave, and she believed no land would have its freedom while womankind was still the slave. Emily Davison, suffragette heroine, died at the Derby in 1913. Blood on the banner bright, purple and green and white, shed for a woman's right to liberty. A soldier dies for king and country, and so Britannia rules the waves. They sing his praises, call him hero, lay stones and flowers on his grave. Was not her sacrifice supreme and selfless? Shall we keep her memory? Is this forgotten ground in Morpeth churchyard the honour due to Emily? Emily Davison, suffragette heroine, died at the Derby in 1913. Blood on the banner bright, purple, green and white, shed for a woman's right to liberty. Should we try that one more time? Emily Davison, suffragette heroine, died at the Derby in 1913. Blood on the banner bright, purple and green and white, shed for a woman's right to liberty.
Woo! Thank you so much. That was just absolutely amazing, Sandra. Thank you so much. So glad to hear a gorgeous song that you wrote about such a great topic, as we are here in the US, a week out from our election day, in a tumultuous time in our nation's history. So this voting songs week that we're doing is specifically to bring us all into this room to get a little bit of a chance to think about voting and voting history, and to sing about, obviously, voting. So I know you wrote that song, and that Emily died in 1913. So I'm wondering how you feel about singing a song about suffrage from so long ago, as we are faced with similar issues right now in our country of people having to actually work too hard and fight too hard just for the simple right of being able to vote. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you to unmute so we don't get it.
I think it's even more important to sing songs about the history and the struggles that people have gone through to have the right to vote at a time like this, when people are still having to struggle and still having to face all kinds of odds to exercise that democratic right. And to know, I think this is what's so important about songs, you see. What songs can do in that struggle is remind us of what has happened before, what other people have come through, and, if you like, to renew our strength and determination to actually exercise democracy when we fought for it so hard. And Emily actually died for that. She was, oh my goodness, she was force-fed over 40 times while she was in prison, because she was constantly locked up, then let out. We had what was called the Cat and Mouse Act. They kind of brought women into prisons. They immediately went on hunger strikes. They were force-fed. Then they were let out when their health was almost broken, only to be captured again and imprisoned again. And that happened to Emily so many times. And now, you know, that's awful to remember, but it's also, it should renew our determination. You know, women went through that, and particularly because she was a woman, particularly because so many women don't exercise their democratic right to go and vote, to vote for people who are actually going to have a huge impact on their contemporary lives and the lives of their daughters and their children, their families, and so on. So yes, I think it's incredibly important. And for me, what's so wonderful about these kinds of songs, and I know I wrote that one, but there are others. What's so important is that those songs carry our history. They tell us what happened. So they work on all levels. They tell us what happened in our past that we might not be aware of. They also then make us feel something. And hopefully what they make us feel is, you know, anger or feel braver or stronger, knowing that other people are or have been where we are now, as it were. Does that answer far too long your question?
Yeah, not far too long at all. That was perfect. And sorry to everybody when we're having a little bit of a switch back and forth. We're trying to keep the echo from coming. So I'm muting Sandra before I talk. And Sandra, that was the perfect answer, actually. And I think for those of us in the US, we know that there are many years where the number of people in our country who vote compared to the number of people in our country who have the ability to vote is so low. And people who have worked in voting rights activism have said it is a little bit hurtful to go through all of the effort that they go through and still see people not taking it seriously, the thought that their vote matters or that they must join in. And I would say, from what I'm seeing in the news and everywhere else, is that this election in particular is really inspiring people to both vote and to work in voting rights or in helping people to get to the polls. And like more than ever, I feel like people think this election is one that really matters. And of course, the outcome, yes, indeed, the outcome of this election, if it were, in addition to positive, also we saw a future surge of people choosing to vote and remembering to vote without all of the efforts having to happen to make that happen. It would be an amazing success story. And it is really powerful to sing the songs and to sing the history. And thank you so much again for bringing us that great song. And for those of us in the room who did not know her name beforehand, and I only knew it a couple days ago when Sandra sent me the lyrics, it's fun to Google and to read about what she stood for and what she did. So Sandra, I know you are also interested in other women voters, which I learned when we were having our shared cup of tea during the sound check. So I'm going to mute myself and put you on spotlight. Can you tell us a little bit about your tea mug?
There we go. Okay, so this was a gift from a dear sister of mine, not a genetic sister, I mean sister as in the sense of sisterhood, Peter Webb, who's also a wonderful singer of traditional songs. She and I were in a group together. She gave me this fantastic mug. Oh, now, there we are. Can you see that? This is a mug with the picture and some details about the life of Emmeline Pankhurst, who I'm sure some of you will have heard of, the famous Pankhurst family of suffragettes. They were very militant. They did so much. All these women were just so articulate and intelligent and passionate. They're just wonderful role models to us all, I think. So I love to have my drinks when I'm performing. I love to have Emmeline along with me.
Thank you, Sandra.
Oh, yes. Somebody has just said, it looks like I've got Rise Up Singing on my piano. So I have. I didn't put it there deliberately, honestly. It's not a piece of, it's not a prop. It's there because I use it an awful lot.
Okay, so that's actually fabulous, because the Rise Up Singing, I guess authors and what would we call them, editors of book 1 and book 2 are actually part of our voting week. So that is Peter Blood and Jane, now I'm going to forget her last name, Annie Patterson. Peter Blood and Annie Patterson are singing with us. I believe it's Wednesday, although I'm not entirely sure because, as we all know, today's Wednesday, so it can't be Wednesday. It's somewhere in the middle of the voting week. So yeah, we have the schedule already up on our website and on Facebook. And before we leave the room today, I will post who's coming when in the chat box. And we'll also post that on Zoom, so you make sure you have it. I mean, on Facebook, so you make sure we have it. Yes, the Rise Up Singing books, I think, are books that a lot of us in this room know. Can we see a little show of hands of how many people sing with the Rise Up Singing books? Yeah, okay, so that's like a pretty lot of people. Yep, I love it. Beautiful. So there's another suffragist that you can look up now. You've given us our homework for the day, and I love it. It's perfect homework for voting week. So Sandra, for the last question, actually, I'm going to check the chat box to see if there's anything else in there. But for you, you mentioned that Peggy Seeger was a mentor to you, or you mentioned it to me. And now I'm wondering if you can mention it to everyone and tell us a little bit about your Peggy Seeger years.
There we go. Yes, I was incredibly fortunate as a young singer to have been heard by Ewan McCall and Peggy Seeger, and they offered me the most extraordinary experience, which was to go and live with them and help them with the children and the house, especially when they were touring, and be a kind of au pair, and in exchange be a kind of folk apprentice. So I lived with Ewan and Peggy and helped with their children, and had wonderful classes with Ewan and Peggy. Peggy was my total role model as a young musician and singer, and still is, I have to say. You know, to have a woman like that who was so versed in the tradition, was a wonderful multi-instrumentalist, was warm, friendly, and generous with her time and skills. To have that in the same building that I was living, and to have access to her knowledge and her experience was just extraordinary. And of course, the songwriting was another skill of hers. So Peggy and I have remained friends since, oh dear, so it must be, well, her eldest son is 60, and I looked after him when he was 5. So that gives you an idea of how long I've known Peggy and admired her and been inspired by her.
Thank you so much. That's great. So we got you muted. Yeah, okay, so we've just lost the echo again. There are some great comments in the chat, and I'm not going to have time to read them all, but I want to just say a few of them because I love the ways in which this community overlaps and interconnects. So Anne Wright, who is one of our regulars, just put into the chat that she was actually on the selection committee for the first Rise Up Singing book. So I think that is just awesome. So hopefully, Anne, you can join us for our Annie and Peter Day. Jane, who's another one of our regulars who comes in some of the time from the UK and some of the time from Pennsylvania, posted that Iron Jawed Angels is a great film. And so I would say we can do a little like book club there, right? So there's our yeah, let's all watch film club, not book club, but let's all maybe watch the film. And during this week would be a great week to watch it. And Nicola mentioned, she's also coming in from the UK, mentioned that she's been singing the Vote for Me Until I Can song, which we had once in this room some time ago, and they are actually bringing that back to us this week with, that's the Amadon family, you know the Amadons, Sandra. So the Amadons are going to be coming in with their son, Stefan, who now has his own 2 little children, and there is online a YouTube video of the Amadons singing it with their 2 sons when they were young. And now it's the grandson who's singing it. And he brought it to us once, and his tiny little voice singing that vote for me until I can is just so magical. So that is also someday this week, whichever day that might be. So, all right. There are a lot of comments in the Zoom chat, which we will put into the email for tomorrow. And I have been working on the notion of starting a Facebook group for this group here so that we can start posting the events and the things we want to know about a little more directly to each other. I'd love to hear from folks who are and or are not on Facebook so I can learn how effective that might be. So if you've got a chance to pop something in the chat to me or send me an email and let me know. I'm looking for a way where we can converse with each other since I absolutely know that there is room in this community for more voice than just mine all the time, or the artist who actually gets to say a word once in a while, right? They get in a word edgewise. Sandra, that was gorgeous and so much fun. Can you please sing us the chorus once more before we say goodbye to everybody? And I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Yes, I would love to do that. And again, thank you so much for inviting me. I've absolutely loved this and found it very moving. Sorry, just putting finger picks on. And I just so wish you all the very best outcome for this election. You can't know how important it is to us in the UK as well, because so much of our future depends on your future. So take us with you, everybody. So here we go. Emily Davison, Suffragette Heroine. Here we go, everybody. Emily Davison, Suffragette Heroine, died at the Derby in 1913. Blood on the banner bright, purple and green and white, shed for a woman's right to liberty. And again, Suffragette Heroine, Emily Davison, died at the Derby in 1913. Blood on the banner bright, purple and green and white, shed for a woman's right to liberty.
Sandra, thank you so much. See, you can say goodbye to everybody if you'd like. I'm just living with the echo.
Oh, lovely. That's good. Goodbye, everybody. All my very best wishes.
Thank you so much, Sandra. So I'm just going to mute you again, and I'm going to wave everybody out of the room. Can't wait to sing with you all again tomorrow. It is Kathy Bullock tomorrow, and she is bringing us a zipper song that she has changed up to make all about voting. So it's a familiar song, and I think you'll all really enjoy it. So please join us tomorrow, noon, right here for day something like 205 or 6 or something. Really, really glad to see you all again today. And as every day, your smiles make my day. And it's really nice to be able to share this space with you and uplift and make it through our time when we're not all together by remembering our songs and our smiles. Thank you again, everybody. And I'm going to say goodbye to Nicola.